Hey guys, what's up? It's Phoebe and this is Mike. He's our station owner. We're from Alternative Twist Radio. Thanks for joining us today. We have Scott Julsen here for our Artist Spotlight. Welcome, Scott.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Phoebe and Mike, for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, we're so happy to have you on today.
Can you give us a brief background on how you became a musician?
Sure. No, you bet. Great question. You know, it all started when really I was a kid. I would raid my mom's record cabinet, and she had old records from the Beatles and Johnny Cash and Kingstone Trio, and these things. And when I was a kid, I just was so enamored by the albums themselves and pulling them out of the sleeves and the act of putting them on a turntable and listening to them. And I just fell in love with music really early on. And I just listened to more and more and more music. And when I became an early teen, I must have been about 12 or 13, I had finally heard Van Halen. And that just kind of blew my ears open. And that really gave me the motivation and the desire to pick up the guitar. So I kind of been prepping myself, to be a musician, listening to a lot of music, really understanding it, seeming to having an understanding of, what the music is saying, and then hearing Van Halen. And then that just really was the catapult that got me to start playing guitar. And then, the rest is history.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That is great. So you taught yourself just by listening to the guitar riffs and awesome music.
Yeah. Self-taught. Yeah, I had this weird kind of sense that I can play this guitar. I just knew I could play it. And then at that time, when you were younger, I think at that time, by the time I picked up the guitar at 13, 14, I had the time, and I had the desire to do it. So I picked it up and I learned pretty quickly, actually. It caught on pretty quick.
That's a good thing, especially self-teaching yourself,
Absolutely.
Especially at an early age. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Yes. You're originally from San Diego and Denver. How did the two music scenes influence your music?
Well, and I'm even going to throw one more city in there because actually I was born in LA. And so I was born in Los Angeles and lived in Southern California. And then I had moved around and moved to Colorado and such. And then when I was a teenager, when I was about 18, actually, I thought I could make it in the music business, and I got fairly proficient with guitar. So I decided to go out to Los Angeles, back out to LA, and try to make it as a musician. And I had stayed in LA for about 15 years, maybe 15, 18 years or so. And then I ended up relocating back into Denver, and Denver music scene was really, really thriving. And so it was a great time to transition back into Denver, into Colorado.
Good.
Yeah.
So how would you say the three different cities differed from each other? Were each of them, you could tell, LA scene back then, was it more pop or rock? And then Denver was more indie. How did that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I was in Los Angeles, it was during the 90s. So alternative was really the happening music, the alternative rock, alternative. And so I had a band, and that was alternative. So I would say I was really knee deep in the alternative music scene, throughout the 90s. And when I had transitioned into Denver, into Colorado, it was a whole different music scene. They're into the whole jam band thing out there. So they're into the Fish and the Widespread Panic and String Cheese Incident and that kind of music, which I just fell in love with, and it was exciting to now be able to improvise and open up songs and to jam more than you would with like a alternative band where you kind of have just tight songs and you don't really open them up and jam them. So having that jam band influence really, really rubbed off on me.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Speaking of jam band, the animal that you have in the background, is that part of the jam band there too?
What is that? I can't even see it.
I think it's a cat, right?
It's actually a dog. Yeah, it's my dog.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I see him. Oh, I see him now. He's moving. He's moving. I was like, what the?
I thought it'd be part of the jam band. Okay, all right. Okay, no worries.
Yeah, he's the band mascot.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, good thing. Good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot he was
Talking
there.
about, he's so quiet, a good boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of blends right in with the background now that
Yeah,
we point
totally.
him out.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So when I got into music, I fell in love with alternative also. And I
Yeah.
grew up in Orange County. So I was
Ah,
listening to a very famous, it was huge. And I fell in love. Linkin
yeah.
Park,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Korn, all
Yeah.
the good, Rob Zombie, all of that.
Yeah.
And that's when I came on. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. Alternative was basically my first musical love, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger, of course I was kind of part of the hair metal bands, being of course, enjoying Van Halen, and during that 80s time, I went through that phase, but quickly got out of that when alternative hit.
That's okay. That's still part of
Yeah.
your story, so you can say
Exactly.
Goes hand in hand. That was
Because, yeah, absolutely.
What are some of your top musical career highlights?
Great question there too. I've got a handful of really neat experiences that I was really blessed to be part of. One that just comes to top of my mind, I was in the house band at the House of Blues in Los Angeles for a handful of years, and so I worked out of that club, and just by being there in the house band, I got to rub elbows with just a lot of great musicians, the national acts that were touring, the local bands, and things like that, and then based off of that, I was actually able to do some shows with Al Green. He was doing some shows at the House of Blues, and they needed a guitar player, and I was just kind of at the right place at the right time, and then got to work with him for a little bit. I had worked with Jeff Skunk Baxter quite a bit at the House of Blues. He's a very famous guitar player from Steely Dan and Doobie Brothers and such. And so that was really a monumental experience for me. And another one was working at the band that I was with in the 90s, the alternative band. We were called Cranium Lounge. And we ended up working with the producer, a very famous producer by the name of David DeVore, who had worked with a lot of unbelievable music. And so he kind of took us under his wing and gave us a bit of a demo deal. We got to go into the beautiful studio called the Complex in West LA and go in and record our songs. And he helped promote us and things like that. And so that was a really good experience. And then just besides that, so many wonderful gigs and recording sessions that I've done with other bands and done on my own. And I had one song that I released. I released it in Denver, and it got on the radio. And so I had a song that was in the rotation for quite a while in that Denver market. So that was another little highlight. So a few of those little things kind of keep you going, in the business, if you will.
Sure.
That is very cool. Those are all great bands too. And
yeah.
A few of the musicians that we've already interviewed have played House of Blues too. So
great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that they support the local musicians too.
They really do. It was really a blessing that they do that. Yeah.
When you submitted your songs, your music is more of a country. It's got rock. It's got Americana, blues. What genre is your most favorite genre to perform?
Ooh, it's hard for me to answer now. And I think that's because the whole jam band influence has really rubbed off on me, where I love it all. I like all of those styles, and the styles, the Americana, the blues, the little bit of the country. After so many years of writing, that's just kind of what my natural style ends up being. But I think the jam band thing really rubbed off to really open up my mind and to explore different styles, and then integrating all those styles maybe at the same time. So doing blues, a little bit of country, that kind of thing in a song or in a performance. So I'd say all those influences really rubbed off.
I've really noticed the more music that we're getting from the different musicians all over the world. We've seen so many different styles, and they're all merging together too.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad that we're in that place where we can be so open, and just to be able to say, you know what, yeah, back in the 90s, the 80s, it was awesome. It created a great fundamental for musicians, but then they put their own spin on it. And then now, in the 2022, now we can have all kinds of different music spinning off of that,
Yeah.
and that's what's really amazing too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even changing and even progressing while merging together
Yeah.
as well, which is actually exciting as a musician and just as a music lover, which I am first and foremost, even before I'm a musician. I just love music. It's exciting to hear it and listen to it. So that's what's fun to listen to your radio station is the diversity is just wonderful. It's so much fun to listen to all the different styles, and it's all really good,
So, out of all the music that you have produced yourself, which one do you like the most, and what is the meaning to it?
I think I'll say it was a song that I wrote called "Come to Me," and it was a song that I had wrote and I got on the radio. This is the one that got on the radio, and so I recorded it. The recording came out great. The performances came out great, and then the song itself it just really treated me well. I got a lot of interest based off of that song, but the song is, please come to me. It's a love song. It's a crush. You have a crush on a girl, and how do you try to get her into your life, and how do you get her to come to you? And so that's kind of what the message of the song is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's very sweet. So it's very sentimental, and
Yeah.
also, it's very sentimental. A lot of people can relate to that too, and they're pining for someone, and
Yep.
especially if it was a first crush or something, then that person is off in the distance,
Yep.
and you just wonder, and you're in your mind, in your heart, and your feelings, you're trying to get to that person.
Exactly. In fact, the line of the song I say, "What will it take to make your heart tremble? What will it take for me to get to your heart and into your soul? Yeah, you're right.
Aw.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's very sweet. That's so cool. So, do you have anything exciting for your fans that you want to let them know? Any thing on the horizon that you're working on, possibly?
Well, I just released a record actually about maybe 6, 8 months ago. And so I finally had just got it out, kind of got the infrastructure set. And now I'm finally pushing it out there and making some videos for some of the songs and getting them out on YouTube. And my label, we're finally, kind of pushing them out and things like that. So that record I'm starting to push. It's called Underdog is the name of the record. And the title song from it's called Underdog. And so that song has been kind of leading the pack. But there's been nice is the jam band influence has really rubbed off on me. So I have a lot of instrumentals on this record. So there's songs, but then there's also some, guitar songs on there too, which is a lot of fun. So that's probably the latest thing that I'm kind of excited about and looking forward to have people listen to.
Yeah, the more music we hear, we have a lot of instrumental. We have several jazz musicians on our site. And, those are just as beautiful as the music that is sung as well, because to me, as a listener, it can bring you to a place where, you're not really concentrating on listening to the words or trying to understand the words, but you're just solely listening to the music itself, the instrumentals. And it could, I feel like, bring you to a different place, whereas maybe the words not confuse the listener, but maybe bring a focus to the listener.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm expressing that right, but
yeah, it's a focus, because when you have a song and a pop song, it's lyric and melody, and that's what really grabs your ear, that melody and that lyric. And when you're listening to an instrumental song, that lyric and that vocal is gone, so it does kind of pull you in a different type of way, for sure.
Yeah, and you spoke about your record label just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Are you able to expand on that? How did you get signed? So you are a signed artist?
Well, yes and no. I'm not signed to a major label or anything of that nature. But what I've done is I work with CD Baby. So CD Baby is an organization that basically it's a record label co-op, and a co-op record label is where you bring your masters to the label, and then they will distribute it for you. They didn't help me with the recording. They didn't give me any money to record it or anything like that. I handled all of that. I bring in my final masters and I say, okay, now I want to release this. and then they put it in their distribution channel, get it out there to the world, and then they take a cut of what we sell.
Okay.
So kind of a more of a
okay.
co-op record label, really. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Which is nice for an
Yeah.
independent musician. So, I needed that help to distribute my material and get it out there to YouTube, to iTunes, to everything,
Mm.
Amazon and all of that stuff. And so they do that for me. And then I pay them a cut of my sales to help me with that.
That's really cool. I feel like a lot of our musicians, that's what they're looking for. They either want to get signed by a big record label or get help with the distribution.
Yeah.
Because to me, it seems like it would be very confusing,
It is.
all
It
the
is.
jargon and stuff, and what can you do, what can you not do, at what stage and things like that. So that's great that you mentioned it.
Yeah, you bet. It's been real helpful for the independent musician, and like you say, who doesn't know really the distribution and the publishing world all that well, but they do. So I've been working with them. Geez, I've released 3 records through them. So I've been working with them for quite a while. It's been nice. Yeah.
Nice.
And you said the company name is CD Baby?
CD Baby. Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put that link on the video here. Mhm.
Yeah. No, they'd appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Good.
great. That's a
Good.
free plug for them.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Very good. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, that was a really good, I think this is a good place that we take a pause and we watch a music video.
Okay, sounds great.
It seems I spent my life wearing mud-bottom shoes. Never took the shortcuts, save that step or two. In the story of my life, under careful scrutiny, it only reveals the kind of human being. It's gone number 2, it's just an underdog like you. Long shot of a lifetime, you can't afford to lose. You keep a steady aim and believe before you shoot. And champions will just be fans, long to be like you. Be like champions will be like you. 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 Shell-shock photo finish, neck in by a hair. Tortoise took the trophy, it's sweet time getting there. And uphill is the easiest way to sometimes go. Only if the downhill, it doesn't ever flow. It's corner number 2, it's just an underdog like you. Long shot of a lifetime, you can't afford to lose. Keep a steady aim and believe before you shoot. And champions will just be fans, long to be like you. Be like champions will be like you. 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 you. Champions will be like you.
That was an awesome video, Scott. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate you playing it. Thank you so much. I'm proud of it. The song that we were listening to is the title track from my new record. And so we finally got that out released. And so I just encourage everybody to keep an eye out for it. It's called Underdog. It's under the Scott Julsen Band. And you're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to get access to it everywhere. Everything from, Amazon, it's Spotify, everything. So it'll be available out there, and appreciate all the support.
Great. We're so happy that you came on and you made time to come on the video for us. Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel and find us on all of our social media, links in our bio. Thanks.